What if everything we know about history is just a version of the truth? Imagine if the past we learn in school is not the whole story. Maybe it is only what those in power want us to believe. Sometimes history is shaped by the winners, and the losers are forgotten. People say history is written by the victors. But what if the real past is messier, stranger, or even magical? What if there were secrets that could change everything we know about ourselves and the world? It is possible we have been given only a small piece of a much bigger puzzle. This essay will show you 33 reasons why history may not be as true as we think. Each reason is simple and clear. Lost cities, burned books, strange objects found in the ground, ideas, beliefs, stories, hidden, changed, destroyed. Are you ready to look deeper? Let's begin by asking, is the history we know really the truth? Or is it something else altogether? The winners of wars decide what goes into the books. The defeated side, silenced. That means much of what we know is just one version of the story. From the Mayans to countless tribes wiped out by colonization, entire peoples vanished from history. Their stories, wisdom, and voices, gone. The Library of Alexandria and other ancient archives held priceless information. When they burned, humanity lost thousands of years of knowledge we'll never recover. Kings, emperors, and pharaohs often carved their victories into stone while erasing their defeats. Propaganda is older than we think. Many religious institutions restructured timelines and stories to fit doctrine. Some events were exaggerated, others erased, all to strengthen control. Many old cities and cultures have vanished without a trace. Here are a few reasons why we may not know their real stories. First, sunken cities Dwarka in India, ruins under the sea near Japan. These places could show us a different past, but most people have never heard about them. Second, the lost city of Atlantis is often called a myth. What if it once existed, and its story was erased to keep us from knowing about it? Third, Great Zimbabwe, a huge stone city in Africa, was once said to be built by outsiders. The real builders, African people, were ignored in history books. Fourth, the Olmec heads in Mexico are giant stone faces. No one knows for sure who made them or why. When civilizations disappear, so do their stories. Those in charge of writing history might leave out these mysteries. We might never know how many advanced cultures existed before our time. Textbooks are political. What children learn depends on governments and publishers. Different countries teach completely different versions of the same events. Colonization erased culture. Indigenous traditions, languages, and histories were destroyed, replaced with approved narratives that glorified conquerors, buried discoveries, artifacts that don't fit the official timeline, locked away, hidden from public view. How many pieces of our true story are collecting dust, impossible monuments? From the pyramids to Stonehenge, ancient structures show engineering far beyond what we're told those people had. Who really built them? Mysterious maps. Old maps show continents and coastlines that modern science says didn't exist yet. How did ancient mapmakers know? History sometimes leaves out whole groups of people. Here are ways this has happened. The Tasmanian Aboriginals were wiped out, and their culture was almost erased from memory. Native American histories are rich and deep, but most books only tell the story from the settlers' side. The ancient Druids in Europe had no written records. What we know is mostly from their enemies, the Romans, who wanted to destroy them. Many African empires, Asian empires like the Kingdom of Benin, were barely mentioned or misrepresented in history books. These stories show that powerful groups can remove others from the record. When this happens, we lose songs, languages, and beliefs that could teach us about human life. Myths with hidden truths. Flood myths, sky gods, and great cycles appear in cultures worldwide. Were they just stories, or shared memories of real events? Propaganda is timeless. Leaders have always manipulated information. Why would history books be any different? Heroes and villains swapped, some who fought for freedom were branded traitors, some who oppressed were turned into legends. Narrative shapes reputation, vanishing artifacts, countless discoveries simply go missing. Why? Were they too inconvenient for the official story? Shifting timelines? Scholars adjusted dates to make history look neat and linear, when reality may have been much more chaotic. Books and libraries hold knowledge, but they can be destroyed easily. Here is how this changed history. The Library of Alexandria in Egypt held many ancient texts. It was burned, and those works are gone forever. Spanish conquerors burned the Maya codices, erasing much of Maya history. Chinese emperors ordered the burning of books and burying of scholars to control ideas. In Nazi Germany, books were burned to wipe out unwanted thoughts. When books are burned, whole worlds of knowledge vanish. What was in those lost texts, we can only guess. Suppressed knowledge, free energy, advanced medicine, ancient texts mention things we barely understand, but they were dismissed as myth. Scholars disagree. If even experts can't agree on what happened, can we really say history is a fixed truth? Lost in translation. Ancient texts have been copied, translated, and edited for centuries. Each version loses meaning, or gains distortion. Oral traditions dismissed. Tribal stories were called fairy tales, but they often carried real memories of floods, wars, and migrations. The truth about Jesus didn't come to create religion. He fought for free will, love, and a direct connection to spirit. Over time, that spiritual message was reshaped into institutions of control. Textbooks seem trustworthy, but even they can be changed. Here are ways bias and censorship shape what we learn. Governments often change history books to make themselves look good. Important events like protests or massacres are sometimes left out or downplayed. Colonizers made the history of their own countries sound heroic, while ignoring the harm they did. Some countries ban books or rewrite history to hide past mistakes. When textbooks are biased, students get only one side of the story. This can, make people believe things that are not true. Spirituality replaced with control. Instead of teaching empowerment, religions often preached obedience, hiding the message of inner divinity. Power within us was hidden. Many ancient teachings said we are sparks of the divine. That idea was buried, replaced with authority outside ourselves. Cyclical time ignored. Many cultures believed in great cycles of rise and fall. Our history, however, is taught as a straight line. Legends of lost civilizations, Atlantis, Lemuria, and other myths might be memories of advanced cultures wiped out in cataclysms. Advanced ancient tech. Evidence suggests ancient people had knowledge of electricity, astronomy, and engineering beyond what textbooks admit. Sometimes people find objects that should not exist according to history books. Here are a few. The Antikythera mechanism found in Greece is like an ancient computer, but it is thousands of years old. Crystal skulls, said to be from old civilizations, have no clear explanation. Egyptian mummies with traces of tobacco and traces of cocaine. Plants from the Americas suggest ancient contact across oceans. Giant stone spheres in Costa Rica. No one knows their purpose or how they were moved. These objects do not fit the regular story of history. Some experts ignore them or say they are mistakes. Sacred alignments. From pyramids to temples, ancient sites align perfectly with stars. Too precise for chance. But barely mentioned in history books. Human origins. Our origin story is full of gaps. The missing links aren't just fossils. They're missing truths. Labeled as mysteries. Whenever discoveries don't fit, they're called mysteries instead of rewriting the narrative. Science under control. Funding, politics, and power influence what science investigates and what it ignores. Education trains obedience. Schools teach memorization of facts instead of questioning and critical thinking. Spiritual ideas shape how we see ourselves and the universe. But these ideas can be hidden or changed. Ancient texts about gods are sometimes called myths, not facts. Ancient texts about magic are sometimes called myths, not facts. Ancient texts about other worlds are sometimes called myths, not facts. Some religions destroyed the old beliefs of the people they conquered. Some religions changed the old beliefs of the people they conquered. Teachings about meditation were often kept secret or labeled as superstition. Teachings about energy were often kept secret or labeled as superstition. Teachings about the mind were often kept secret or labeled as superstition. Gnostic writings offered different views of Jesus and spirituality. They were banned. They were hidden for centuries. When spiritual truths are hidden, we lose ways to understand ourselves and our place in the world. History keeps changing. Each generation updates history. If truth is changing, was it ever truth at all? New discoveries challenge old lies. Every year archaeology uncovers something that doesn't fit the textbook version, but classrooms rarely update. History is control. Maybe history isn't about truth at all. Maybe it's about control. A story written to keep us from knowing who we really are. When history is edited, it changes more than just facts. It shapes our sense of self. The call to question. Here are more reasons to doubt the official story of history. Propaganda is used to make people believe what leaders want. Ancient monuments like the Sphinx Stonehenge have secrets that science still cannot explain. So, is history truth, or just a story told by those in charge? Can we trust what is written in books, or should we look for answers ourselves? So what do you think? Is history a true record of the past, or the greatest story ever sold? One thing is clear. The more we question, the closer we come to the truth. If you found this video eye-opening, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep exploring the mysteries that shape our world.